Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. These days I saw that there are some new subscribers and I would like to make some introduction about me, about my channel, that you know if you would subscribe what will come in the future, and that's what we're here for. First things first, my friends all call me Hannah. I am 29 years old. I right now live in Seoul. I'm actually German, and I would like to give you some impression about what the life in Korea looks like, and not from a YouTuber kind of perspective, mostly just from a working kind of perspective, as I work in the tech industry in Korea for about now a year. I actually before that worked as a translator as a mini job in the working holiday, but in my previous companies, which were mostly all Korean, I always had contact with Koreans and know this kind of working culture from a really long time. I moved to Korea in 2020 fully. So what that means is I quit my job in Germany. I quit my house and totally moved with my belongings to Korea. Why did I do that? I actually worked in several Korean companies before. I went to Korea several times before, and I always wanted to do this since I started being related with Korea, which was maybe around like 2009. But that time is always like you think of your career, you think you cannot go abroad with that job that I had that time. So always I postponed that idea also. And that time I thought I could not go abroad and live alone, be without all of my friends. So what I actually appreciate in Korea is I made friends here really, really more easily. So I sometimes think that is because of the behavior of the people here is a little bit different. Like they are really unplanned. Sometimes I just meet my friends also after work. We didn't make a plan. We just text each other and say like, oh yeah, let's have dinner together, which I think mostly in Germany I never did. So I'm really thankful for that. And I am 100% independent from my parents. I mean, I was that since I was 16, so 13 years till now when I started to work. But I know that some people living in Korea get money from their parents or they help them out or something. But that's not that kind of person that I want to be. Like, my parents did so much when I was young for me, so now I have to pay that back, and I will not take anything, or maybe only in emergency cases, from my parents. Why did I came to Seoul? So mainly, actually, I didn't plan to stay in Seoul. I just planned to make a working holiday and go back to Germany after 1 year, or if I couldn't take it, maybe earlier than 1 year. But in the end, I ended up here now on my nearly third year. And in that time, many things changed because Corona even changed any of us. So I think compared to previously, also Korea has changed a lot. So if you were here for traveling like before the pandemic and traveling now, you will also notice it's totally different. One thing I also want to add, because many people these days I heard, or when I watch YouTube, I see people always comparing Korea to Japan. And if you know a little bit from the history side of Korea, then you know that I think that is a little bit disrespectful. That's why I will not compare Korea to Japan. Not at all. Japan is Japan, Korea is Korea. And if you want to compare everything, then I think you cannot see the world really openly. And just give it a go. Just go on a new country without any thinking and just wait and see how your experience will be. As some of you actually asked me, yes, I can speak Korean. I guess I'm not perfect. I'm maybe a B1 level or B2 level in Korean. But actually my job is mostly fully in Korean, so I have to talk to my co-workers, I have to talk to my clients, and everything is in Korean. So the only thing that I do mostly in English is talking to my partner. And some of my friends I talk in English, some of my friends I talk in Korean because they are Korean and doesn't know any English. But also some of my friends are German, so that's why you see on my channel some vlogs with German friends which are in German. but always I try to put English subtitles that all of you can know what we are talking about and maybe it's interesting for you. So now to fact number 2, what is this channel about and what I'm planning to do. In my older videos, I always spoke German because I thought mostly working holiday informations are only country specific. Like I had a friend who was in Spain or in the Netherlands and we compared what we had to do and that was totally different. The main parts are similar. That's why I think now, after I mostly explained how to make a visa application and everything, I think English is a better way to share the informations, and that is the reason why I made that channel. I think on working holiday and life in Korea, there is not that many informations, to be honest. I mean, I see people doing cafe hopping vlogs or something like that, but to be honest, it is really hard to find a channel that shows you where you can buy your groceries, what is some things that you will see and how should you deal with it, or where do you find apartments and such informations. So that's why some of my subscribers actually wrote me on Instagram that they're really thankful for how much information I shared and that they try to research some of that information, but it's really hard to get information about Korea and the life here and visa and like everything in detail in English. I guess you can find some blogs, they are really not that detailed. Like they can say, oh yeah, you can live in Gujiwon, but in the end, they doesn't show you how to find one, how expensive is that. Or they will say, yeah, your rent is around 300 to 400 bucks. But the problem is, I mean, depending on where you live, depending on what you want to do, depending on your needs, that can always change. I mean, I have friends which came for working holiday and didn't even spend any money, and that is also possible. But most people doesn't talk about money. Most people doesn't talk about how it is to be sick in Korea, how it is to be alone as a foreigner without your family. Maybe if you come with friends, that is a different topic, but who can you rely, or where can you get support, where can you get some information? That is the main topic of my channel. So if you always planned to stay in Korea for tourism, just travel, but also on a longer run, maybe get a job here, then just stick with my channel, maybe give me a subscription, and you will learn really much things about Korea, and I try to answer all of your questions. I know sometimes that is not possible because I am not perfect. I can also just research and share my opinions or my experiences, but otherwise I also have a Korean partner. If there's something Korea specific, then often I can also ask him, or he can explain you some things. So in that case, don't worry and just put some comment with your questions and I will answer them. So again, to my channel name is Korea to Go, and if you maybe already thought a little bit more about it, then you could think why I picked this name. I mean, Korea to Go is mostly like a coffee to go, I think. You can just watch me on the go if you're on the train to work. You can watch me anywhere you want because it's on YouTube. And I give you facts which are really fast, really easy. I share some of the things. I can also share with you some walkthroughs, which I do sometimes, because some of my friends actually want to come to Korea, but the problem is some visa issues or the money issues or something like that. So I want to offer them the possibility to a little bit sometimes be in Korea without really being in Korea. I mean, I hope you know what I mean. So because of that, you can actually find on my channel different topics that I already put information out. Some of the topics I'm still in preparing and trying to think how I should give you that information. I have that NHI suspension, which is the national health insurance in Korea. If you are during the working holiday, you can suspend it. I have a video in there. I can put you a link in the description box. And how is it in Korea to be positive? or how to get an appointment at the immigration office. Also, I made a screen capture how to do, and it's a total guide on how you have to process it, so you can watch it while you do it. As I already mentioned before, I am not a Korean YouTuber. Mostly of my free time is on the weekend. That's why I will not go coffee hopping or something like that. I am working in Korea, so compared to some YouTubers which are mainly focused on their YouTube job, I can give you a more detailed look about how is it to work in Korea, which things you will face, what things you have to set up, like insurance, or what also I didn't know before is about the pension money that depends on which country you are from. And this kind of information, I hope it will be helpful for some of you, because that was information that I always tried to find online and couldn't find. But please remember, Korea is not a dream country. I mean, I know because of K-pop that everything looks like shiny, good world with really many pretty people. But, I mean, everything and every country has their ups and downs. Like, Korea has also a popularity of people who work more than like 72 hours per week. That is just hilarious if you think how exhausted that people will be, and still some of them don't have the money to live. And keep in mind that you mostly see online the good things of the people, or we tend to watch more good things on YouTube. But also there's bad things, and I also think of planning a video about things that actually happened to me during my working holiday, which were, nearly make me think of going back to Germany. And also situations with my partner that we had to face, and we were both a little bit shocked about what just happened to us and how we should process with this kind of information. So keep in mind, you come to Korea, but your country has a good and bad things, so this country also have good and bad things. That was it for this video. I hope you liked it. I hope you learned a little bit more about me and about my channel and what I want to do. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe me for more videos, and see you in the next one. Bye bye!